I do want to talk about some comments I heard yesterday from your colleague, Congressman Brad Sherman. He's a Democrat from California. And he told me that he could see, he floated the name former President George W. Bush as a potential Speaker of the House. Or he said another reasonable Republican is someone who Democrats he could see getting behind. Would you support someone who isn't in the House right now for Speaker, or even former President George W. Bush?
Well, not at this point in time, Brittany. I don't think we're there yet. I think we need to see where Jim goes, just in deference to the fact he won a majority of the Republican vote before we go jumping off on some of these other candidates.
Okay, let's keep the spotlight on Congressman Jim Jordan. Are you voting for him in round two, and why, if so?
Well, I don't see any. I voted for him in round one. I don't see that there's not another candidate at this point in time. And if we go to a round two, absolutely, I'll vote for him.
Do you think he's the best Republican for the job right now?
I think he's the one the consensus can. I think Jim has done a tremendous job coming out really from being a Freedom Caucus person to come out and do a tremendous job leading one of the major committees in Congress and showing some facile ability to gather consensus and to bring to light some of the massive injustices done by the Biden administration and some of the agencies. And so I think he's the best candidate we have in front of us.
You made an interesting tweet last week that anyone who's ever gotten dental work done, their eyebrows kind of raised a bit because you compared this to a root canal and you said something to the effect of, I'm looking forward to my next root canal, these House GOP closed door meetings. Do you have any insight into those? What stories can you share that maybe would make me rather get a root canal than be part of this?
Well, it's funny. I was a little bit punchy at that point in time, but nobody wants a root canal, and I don't think this process does the nation any good, because the real issues with the nation right now are our calamity at the southern border that Biden has opened the border. We don't know how many individuals from Hamas have come in the country, Chinese nationals that are coming into the country to destroy the country. This is where the real fight is. It's not really within the Republican Party. That's the fight. Inflation is the fight. The out-of-control spending done by the Biden administration leading us to this inflation. Crime in the streets, our absolute disaster of policy that happened in Afghanistan, leading, in my opinion, to Ukraine and some of the other things that we've seen around the world. So while this is messy, some of the fights within the Republican Party, the real issues facing the country right now are those happened because of the Biden administration's absolute incompetency.
Let's talk about where we are right now. Israel is at war. There's a looming government shutdown. Many voters and Americans are scared about the state of the economy. And your colleague, a Republican, Troy Nehls, said the House Republican Conference is broken. When you hear this, the word broken, how do you fix it?
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways it is, because we have some individuals who need to understand this is a team sport, and there's, despite some differences of personalities and everything, we have to understand who the adversary is, and that's the policies put forth by the Democratic Party.
Why do you think that is taking some people in your party a while to come around to? Why is there so much infighting?
Well, the Democrats do a very good job of hiding their infighting, but I understand it very well occurs. Ours, we tend to do, sadly enough, more in public. This is just where democracy is, Brittany. It's a very, very messy process, and we're now exposing it now with a 24-hour news cycle, social media, the horrible parts of our existence that expose every different difficulty and challenge in humanity. That's where we are right now.
This speakership vote and really storyline has been the storyline of 2023, starting with Kevin McCarthy's historic 15 rounds to get the speaker and then moving onward. So what do you think this says about the future of the Republican Party?
No, I don't see it. Again, I think the party is having its challenges right now, but the real challenges that face the country, again, it's not a party, it's an idea, it's an ideology. By the Democratic leftists at this point in time from the Biden administration, which we thought he was going to be a centrist. We absolutely thought that's what he portrayed himself to be, but he's been anything but. That's the real issue. That's the real problem. That's really what's broken with the country. This is a process. This process will eventually get fixed, but it's not the policies that are destroying this country.